Skylar Diggins comes out and she's like, all right, let's fucking fist fight. We're going to fist fight. That's how she started the first quarter.
I don't know. Like, now I feel like I could be GM if you're making moves like this. Let's all put our applications in.
And attach a rope to my ankles and start pulling. I'm not letting go of my $20 million left on my contract. Sorry. We have to be composed and dignified so like Reggie Miller doesn't get upset. Fuck that shit. Because Reggie Miller is like, oh, you guys got to settle down.
Jason.
Yes.
Jason, our parade of experts continues.
That's right.
We have another guest this week. I'm so excited. I can't believe we finally get to talk to this person, Jasmine Watkins. She was a senior manager at Nike's Virtual Studios, head of content at Buzzer, currently a creative lead at the ad agency Wieden Kennedy. Mm-hmm. I have mentioned this on Twitter a number of times. I think she's the funniest person on Twitter to follow during a basketball game. Nobody's better at making jokes during basketball than Jasmine Watkins. I can't believe you're here. Hello, Jasmine.
Hey, guys. First of all,
hello.
Wow. This is amazing. I'm glad to finally be here.
All right, Jasmine, we're gonna throw you right into it. This thing happens on the show every so often, only during the playoffs, it seems, where because we record on Tuesday morning, there are games Tuesday night, and then the episode comes out Wednesday morning. For us, the future has already happened whenever the listener listens to this show. We don't know what's going to happen in the games tonight between the Las Vegas Aces and the Seattle Storm, and also the New York Liberty and the Atlanta Dream. We have no idea what's going to happen, but it has already happened for everybody who's listening to the show. Jasmine, you have to look into the future from the past. You have to tell us what happened in the games last night before they've even been played for us today. This is a fucking Christopher Nolan time experiment. I have no idea any of the details. Just tell us what happened in the games last night between the Las Vegas Aces and the Seattle Storm and the New York Liberty and the Atlanta Dream. Who won? Who did great? Who did poorly? What happened?
Las Vegas Aces won by 9. Asia balled out. We even saw some Sid Colson behind the back trickery. Tip doing her thing. Liberty, they either won by 2 or they lost by...
No, it already happened, Jasmine. You got
to... No, okay. Liberty did not win by 2. They lost by like 7 or 6.
Hell yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Sorry, I got my...
Very interesting how the narratives change on the second try.
I got my future wires crossed. They played a great game, but it was not enough. There was a little bit of choking, as New York is
I love this.
used to having. So,
oh my God,
shout out to them for the effort. Ellie did her thing, though. Jason, Ellie did her thing.
Ellie the elephant, tremendous.
Which take are we going to play? The one where she said the Liberty won, or the one where she said the Liberty lost? Which one are we going to use?
I love Ellie.
Okay, well, everybody loves Ellie's probably the only 100% curating person, figure, fictional character in all of North America right now.
This is the elephant, the New York Liberty
Ellie the elephant. Beloved figure.
Great. All right. Well, this seems like a good place to... Let's get into the show. JC, you want to start the show?
Let's start the show.
From Wondery, I'm Shea Serrano.
And I'm Jason Concepcion.
And this is 6 Trophies.
Hello! I'm Jason Concepcion, and welcome to 6 Trophies, a podcast series hosted by myself and Shea Serrano, in which we comb through all of the basketball news from the past week and then hand out 6 pop culture-themed trophies for 6 basketball-related activities. In this episode, Nafisa goes bonkers. The Seattle Storm go ice storm at the wrong time. A basketball media legend, the Woj, bombs himself. All that and more. Let's hand out some trophies.
Saying that Woj bombed himself. What a weird phrase to go with right there.
Why?
Jason.
I think contextually it makes a lot of sense. He did drop the bomb on himself.
We do 2 sets of trophies, the big trophies and the little trophies. The big trophies are first. These ones are the same every week. First up, the Denzel Washington and Training Day trophy given out to whoever it is who had the best overall performance of the week. This week's winner, Oh my goodness, Nafisa just went crazy in game one. Crazy in game one. She does 38 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, in a win for the Minnesota Lynx over the Phoenix Mercury. Jasmine, did you see this coming? Did you know this was going to happen?
Yes. Didn't you?
Yeah.
I did not. I mean, I knew she was going to play well. I didn't know she was going to play 38, 6, 4, and 1 well.
Maybe that part was a surprise, but we like to call this finesse. She is insane. Like, she don't have to talk. That's the best part about her.
She does not. She does not talk a lot.
Talk a little bit after the game about her eagerness to maybe send Diana Taurasi to the end of her career.
Out of here.
That was a surprise.
Let's get her out of the career, out of the building.
Legend? Who's that legend you're talking about? Let's escort her out. That's what we want to do.
Did it with a smile on her face, which I thought was very on brand for Nafisa.
I thought rewatching the game. So you watch it the first time and you're like, all right, this is the Minnesota Lynx. We talked about this before. You got to take them serious. You can't. Yeah. Everybody's going Aces Liberty, Aces Liberty. The Lynx, this game happens. Nafisa shows up and she's like, hey, keep talking about those other two if you want. We're here too. She gives you 38 points, and in every single way you could score a bucket, she scored a bucket. You want it in the paint. You want to bang down low. You want a mid-range jumper. You want a 3. You want and one. What do you want? What do you want me to do? I'm going to do it. She fucking goes crazy, Jasmine.
I expect a great game from her, but this level, she's tired of all this Aces Liberty talk. So I'm here for it.
You could tell. You could tell. She said enough is enough.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. I got a little bit scared, Jason. I did. I got a little bit scared when this game happened. I was like, oh shit.
I mean, the way they play defense gives them a platform for success every game. And then Nafisa's legitimately like, if Asia was not here, she'd be the MVP of the league. And she will be continuously in the running for MVP of the league for the foreseeable future, for a while, for a long time, because she's not going to stop doing stuff like this. She's been doing this all year. Maybe not to the 38 level, but she's been consistently like the consensus second best player in the league, which is pretty good if the consensus best player in the league is like maybe the best player ever when it gets all said and done. Like, that's pretty good. Like, she is great, legitimately great. And I think you have to take the Lynx seriously. You just have to.
You know what I thought was the most intimidating about this situation, beyond just the points and just sort of controlling the game at large, is what she did, is what the Lynx did. They go up 20 plus points pretty quickly. And you're like, oh, okay. This, you kind of saw it coming. The Phoenix Mercury, they're on their way out. The Minnesota Lynx are on their way in. This is like what happens in these sorts of games. But then the Mercury do what the Mercury do. Diana Taurasi does what Diana Taurasi does. They just start hitting shots, and they come back, and all of a sudden it's under 10, and now it's under 5, and now, oh shit, it was all falling apart for them. And the Lynx, what should have happened, what I wanted to happen, is they lose that game, and you go, see, I don't got to worry about them. We don't got to worry about them. It's fine. But they win. They go on a 7-0 run to get back the lead. Bridget Carlton hits that goofy falling to the side three-pointer to go from 3 to 6 in the final minute of the game.
You get mad when somebody hits a shot like that.
You get so mad when they hit a shot like that. And when that happened, you said to yourself, okay, fuck. They're not going to panic. Because they should have panicked and they should have lost the game, is what I thought was going to happen, and they didn't. And now, 2 questions for you, Jasmine, off of this. Number 1, are the Mercury going to win a game in this series? And number 2, realistically, can the Minnesota Lynx win a championship this season?
Ooh, I don't see the Mercury winning just because, like, Nafisa's on a tear. They're playing championship basketball. I also don't see the Lynx winning this year. I can't see them getting past a couple teams.
Even after that game 1?
Even after, they would have to be consistently like that game 1. And they're going to falter at some point.
Who do they lose to?
If not Aces, maybe Sun.
The Sun, the Connecticut Sun, they looked good too.
They looked really good
too.
Sad. There's no worse way to lose, especially in the WNBA playoff format, which is best of 3, than to charge back. Like if you go into this game, right, and you tell the Phoenix Mercury you're going to lose to the Lynx before the game, they're like, okay, the Lynx are a really good team. If you lose in the way they lose, where they charge back and then they get turned away, still, that's the worst way to lose in a short series, because you're just really like, fuck.
They thought they were going to. You could tell they thought they were going to win.
They
when they came back,
the shoulders were like jiggling, like everybody was. You could see it. You could see the light in their eyes, and to lose in that way is extra heartbreaking. And they've got great veterans on the team. Dana Taurasi is not going to be downtrodden by this, but still, that's a gut punch type of game, and I don't see them having the firepower to come back and win this series. And the Lynx, obviously, anything can happen, but I don't think they have enough outside of. I just don't think they have enough top level scoring to really do it.
You got Phee talking shit now. I feel like it's over.
It's over.
Jason, on a scale of 0 to 100, how worried are you that the Liberty could lose to the Lynx at some point in this playoff?
I'm worried. I'm like a 10 all the time that the Liberty. Listen, I really truly believe this is our year. I know I'm skipping around. This is the deepest Liberty team we've ever seen. All of their players have brought something else to the table after last year's disappointing loss in the finals, their 5th appearance in the finals with no championships to show for it. And at the same time, that history, it haunts me, and I'm worried. It's been nothing but disappointment in the history of the Liberty as a franchise. Their whole history. So I'm always scared, but I really feel like this is the best team we've ever seen from the Liberty.
Okay. Next trophy. The Lauryn Hill, you might win some, but you just lost one trophy. Give it out to whoever it is who had the worst overall performance of the week. This week's winner, Seattle's Game 1 fourth quarter performance against the Aces. Oh, my God. I was so happy. So happy. Jasmine, how are you feeling? How were you feeling at the start of Aces Storm when Skylar Diggins comes out and she's like, all right, let's fucking fist fight. We're going to fist fight. That's how she started the first quarter. She's like, it's me versus y'all. Let's go. And they looked good. They looked scary. We scored 9 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
How were you feeling after that?
I'm like, oh, shit. I was not expecting this. I was a little nervous. Is this Ace has been up and down for a minute. But I'm like, I'm kind of feeling this Storm team. I see the grit. And then, championship teams do what they do. It's the rust. It's the playoff rust. The first couple quarters, that's not your real team.
Yeah.
You don't really see who you're supposed to see until maybe after the half, you shake off the nerves if somebody has nerves. But I don't know. They looked Storm looked incredible. First quarter, I'm like, oh, this might be a nail biter, but it won't be.
This is a scary game, I think, scary game for the Storm, because the Aces played bad and beat them because they have great players who are used to playing together and used to being in this spot. Asia 1 of 8 in the first quarter. The Seattle Storm came out charging, and I think this is a tough game for Seattle, because you figure, man, if we can't beat them when they're playing bad, I hope they don't play good.
What happens when they play good? Oh my goodness,
they had it. This was a chance. They turn into 2018 Rockets out there. They could not buy a bucket.
What were they in the fourth quarter?
over 12. 0 buckets. 0 made baskets in the fourth quarter. 0 made baskets in the fourth quarter. I felt watching this game, the game starts through the first quarter, and it's like, oh shit, okay, we might drop this first one. I'm feeling maybe I'm not that worried, but we might drop this first one. And then Chelsea gets rolling, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad Chelsea's back for this playoff run, because we lost her at the end of the last one. I'm so glad she's back. She's been out for a bit. Asia starts rolling. Jackie starts rolling. Tiffany Hayes, I thought was the player of the game. I was so glad that they picked her up this season because she came in. She's so chaotic. She's so frenetic. She's never shot a normal layup or jumper. Every go watch her highlights from that game. She scores 20 points. She's 8 of 12 from the field, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 steals. Off the bench, she comes in and does this. But every shot that she makes, all 4 of her limbs are out in a different direction every single time. And it's incredible. She just kept getting into the paint. And I was like, man, I fucking love Tiffany Hayes right now. If you're going to win a championship, you need a Tiffany Hayes player on the team to do what Tiffany Hayes did in game 1. She won the game for us. If she's not there, we might have lost that game. But I think watching this game here, they start out poorly in the beginning, and then they finish like fucking monsters. It was an inversion of what Seattle did. Start out so strong, and then just turn into a cloud of mist and sadness by the end of the game. And it's like, yes, that's what I'm looking for from my aces right there.
Yeah. Still like the Storm, though. I mean, not to win, but I like what they've been doing this season.
I like the Storm. I thought them grabbing Gabby was really smart.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I think Skylar Diggins has long been one of my favorite players in the league because she's so mean. She's so mean out there.
Yeah. She'll fight with anybody.
I love a mean basketball player.
She'll fight with the refs. Fight with everybody.
Everybody. And when you watch that first quarter, you could tell she went out there fully with the intention of being like, let's what happens when we punch him in the mouth.
Yeah, who's going to fight me? Who's actually going to swing on me? Yeah.
Yeah. And then it turns out, oh fuck, all of the aces are gonna swing back. It was oh my God. I felt great watching that game. The fourth quarter, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, they're not gonna score any baskets? I mean, they got some free throws, a couple free throws, but all of this after Asia wins her unanimous MVP, her third MVP trophy. She got all 67 first place votes, which was tremendous. I was happy. Last game of the night, especially after watching Minnesota play, after watching the Liberty play, when you're like, all right, fuck, we're going to have to stare down these two teams. Watching Connecticut play, it feels like 4 teams this year. Connecticut, the Liberty, the Aces, and the Lynx are like legitimate, bona fide.
Yes.
One of these teams could win a championship and would not be a surprise to anybody. That's the level they are, those top 4. The other 4, you feel the Atlanta Dream, the poor Dream. What are you going to do? You don't stand a chance.
They just happy to be there.
Yeah, they really are.
Dare I say the GOAT?
You say it. Say it.
Soon to be.
I know. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like,
soon to be.
I'm an old head, so it's like, damn, nobody to me was better than like Cynthia Cooper. And now here's Asia, who's legit like your GOAT's GOAT. Like,
I mean, if you just the resume till now, and she's in the middle of her career, she's as decorated as any athlete we've seen in a professional sport over the same span of time or in recent memory. And if that trajectory holds, like if people don't want to say she's the GOAT right now, I get it. But if the trajectory holds, I think she'll be the GOAT. Like it's crazy what she's doing.
Yes.
If you go back and you look, when they lost to the Phoenix Mercury, game 5, she gets her shot blocked by Brittany at the end of the game, and they end up losing that series in the final moments. And then after the game was over, she just collapses into like this tearful, crying heap. Her teammates are all around her trying to get. Ever since that moment, she's been fucking unstoppable. Ever since then, she has won everything you could win. She has done everything you could do. And somehow her numbers just keep going up no matter what. It's like every time she steps on the court, she breaks another record. Yeah. You know what I mean? She becomes this season alone, the first player ever to score 1,000 points in a season. The first player ever to grab more than 450 rebounds in a season. She has the highest scoring average ever for the year in the history of the league. Her scoring, her blocks, her player efficiency rating, her win shares, they're all the highest they've ever been, or whatever it is. Like, it's unbelievable watching her play, and I'm so glad I hitched myself to Asia when I started. I was like, thank goodness, I would hate to be a fan of another team right now. Ugh.
Come on, Jason, just join us.
Jason, join us.
No, I'm not going to join you.
Join us.
First of all,
Zuri.
you want me to jump off now when we have the best team we've ever had?
Yes.
And we could very well win the title this season? Let me just jump off right now at the very end. Stop it. First of all, still waiting on the results of that investigation into whether the Aces circumvented the salary cap. We're still waiting on all of that. The cheating Aces, we understand how they cheat and lie.
Jason, join us.
The hell with it. The hell with
Come
the
to
Aces.
death row.
Except for Sidney Colson, who I love.
Next trophy, the Dominic Toretto I Live My Life a Quarter Mile at a Time trophy. Give it out to person or team who made a short-term decision with no regard for future consequence. This week's winner, the Chicago Sky, for trading Marina Mabry.
Yeah.
That one came back and got you. Didn't work out that great.
There were clearly personality issues behind the trade, because, and Mabry is an irascible type of character. That said, she's also the type of player that I think every team would want.
You gotta have a Marina Mabry.
She's just like especially coming off the bench, she's killing people, and she's been a difference maker all season. And then, man, to see her in game one, Chicago could have used a player like Marina Mabry. Man, she's good.
So the Connecticut Sun play Indiana Fever. That's the 3 versus 6 matchup. Marina Mabry comes off the bench to tune up the Indiana Fever for 27 points.
Yeah.
On 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And I think even more important than that is just, as you mentioned, the sort of attitude that she brings.
She's a big shot maker and taker. Like, she will take a big shot. Yeah.
She's not afraid. She was on that incredible Notre Dame team that won the championship when Enrique hit the back-to-back game winners, right? She's been in the deep water before. She's unafraid. But if you can go on YouTube right now and watch, there's a highlight video of hers, a Marina Mabry highlight video, where all she's doing is fucking with the other team.
That's what
just like, if there's a loose ball on the ground and she's just diving into the pile. Or there's one great one where Taurasi has a ball and Mabry felt like she got hit on the other end of the court, and she just comes flying over, wraps up into the ball, rips it away from Taurasi. Clearly a foul. Wasn't even trying to do this legally, but just like fouls her, rips the ball away, and then holds the ball in the air like a trophy, like, aha, I fucking took it from you. What are you going to do about it? Like, there's a whole highlight reel of her just doing shit like that, and it's great. Jasmine, are you pro Marina Mabry or are you anti Marina Mabry?
I am pro now.
Yes.
It's just like, as much as I probably disliked her on Chicago, I'm like, what are you thinking? Because you're right. Like, you do need a player like that. And I was a little iffy on how her and Dejanay would like interact, how that's going to go.
Yes.
But shit. You get 2 great, like, passionate players, and this is the outcome. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, now I feel like I could be GM if you're making moves like this. Let's all put our applications in.
Yeah, I think that the Dejanay Carrington thing is a perfect example of this is a player you hate until they're on your team. Because DJ and Marina got into it during a game when Marina was on the Dallas Wings, and Marina very, very like correctly is shouting at DJ like, hey, fucking be in the league for more than 2 seconds before you say something to me. Like, that's what she says. You can go watch it on YouTube. And then DJ is just like, hey, shut your dumb ass up. They're just back and forth already. I think she got a technical foul. But now they're on the same team together. And it's not even, you hesitate to call them troublemakers. They're not troublemakers, but they're like fight starters, like basketball fight starters. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially considering, I mean, listen, it's working right now. That's the other thing. Mabry's bounced around. It's maybe the problem in Chicago was there were too many troublemakers in the, over there, and one needed to go, and that's why Mabry went. But you do love to see it right now, and the mix is is working. It is working.
I gotta admit, at the time that happened, I was like, you know that meme of that guy like putting fries into like a steaming pot of like grease, and all of a sudden it just catches on fire. The whole room. Yeah. At first I'm like, that's gonna be this, but no, I am pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, they're so good together. It's the Bash Brothers from Mighty Ducks 2.
That's exactly right.
We just teamed them up, and now they're picking on the other team, cheering for each other. I think.
Can I go into a little tangent about how? Please not even a tangent. I was so upset with that franchise because D3 is the best movie in that, but we did not get enough of the Bash Brothers. So I just want to point that out. D3 is the best movie, but there was like very little time of the Bash Brothers together. Continue.
I love a shit-talking basketball player. I love a mean basketball player. The Connecticut Sun have two of them with DJ and Marina. Mm-hmm. This is okay. This gets into why they're so intimidating. Maybe a little more intimidating even than the Minnesota Lynx, because you have now Marina Mabry and DJ together, and they're unafraid of everybody. Put them across from anybody, they're not afraid, right? But pair that pairing up with Dawana and Alyssa, who are like. Dawana looks like a fucking Avatar character out there. She's just all arms and legs everywhere. Alyssa Thomas is the Broad Street bully, just bodying everybody. She comes down the lane. Oh my God, that was so funny during the game. There were like 2 or 3 instances in a row where she got on a fast break, and the Indiana Fever players, they look like Indiana Jones when the boulder was on the way. They're just I got to get out of the way of this thing. Wide open layups. That foursome together is scary. I'm scared. It's scary.
I am scared. If there's a team that scares me, it's definitely the Sun.
Yeah, the level of physicality and defense that they bring, defensive cohesion and an edge, just overall attitude and edge is like you wouldn't pick them to be the favorite to win the title, but like you don't want to play them.
Yeah.
They're
like
mean.
Somebody else please beat them.
And the Fever really just looked physically overwhelmed. Like the physicality was too much.
Yeah. This was the first time watching them play because they start out and they're keeping up with them, and you're like, all right, this is fun. This is going to be a good series. And then the Connecticut Sun, when the water gets deep, as we always talk about, and you've got Alyssa and you've got Dawana, and then these other two bullies running around. And it felt for the first time like, oh, this is adults playing against kids right now. When the playoff intensity really got going, oh shit. All right, the Indiana Fever. Jasmine, are they going to win a game in this series?
No, they're not ready. No.
They're so fast.
They're not that they children, but they mad young. Like, congrats, you made it. I didn't think they would make it at the beginning of the season, but you're here now. Get this experience, and next year they will go a little bit deeper. I truly believe that. It's just like they're not ready for what has become. Like nobody wants to play the Sun, and least of all, obviously the Fever.
Yeah, I think if the shot starts dropping, maybe they get one. But the Sun had a lot to do with the Fever missing shots. Like that was a big part of it. It wasn't just like all open shots that Clark or any of them missed. So I think I agree. It would be tough for them to get a game. But if the shot falls, you never know. I've doubted them all year. They were bad to begin the year, so who knows?
Next trophy, the Daniel Plainview I've abandoned my child, I've abandoned my boy trophy, which is given out to a player or team who's temporarily given up on something. In this case, a permanent giving up. This week's winner, Woj giving up on his reporting career. He's hanging up the smartphone.
It's done.
He's done.
The bombs are getting put away in storage. They're being decommissioned. The explosive tips are being taken off of them. That's it. No more bombs. No more Woj bombs.
Jason, will you walk us through what this situation is, please?
Sure. In a shock move last week, Adrian Wojnarowski announced via Twitter his favorite medium of delivering news as a newsbreaker in the NBA par excellence for a decade plus, announced that he will be retiring from his newsbreaking career, leaving ESPN, where he still has $20 million left on his contract over several years, and will be taking a position with his alma mater, St. Bonaventure, as the general manager or the general manager, I think is what he said. That's still a position that's new in college. And so it's unclear like what exactly those duties are going to be. Although they did mention a number of things, including, structuring, NIL opportunities, recruiting, etc. But this is a shocking news. It seemed to be shocking to everybody in the sports media sphere, certainly all NBA fans of breaking news were shocked by this. And he leaves a giant vacuum that it remains to be seen how that vacuum will be filled coming into this season.
The way that I know Woj is a better person than me is that he just walked away from $21 million.
You couldn't drag me away. You could get a pack of horses and attach a rope to my ankles and start pulling. I'm not letting go of my $20 million left on my contract. Sorry. I understand. No. I'd be like, listen, honey, tell the kids, pet the dog, tell them I'm sorry, but we got to get this $20 million and then I'm going to be there. After that, I'll be there.
I would go so far as to just be like, I'm just going to be bad at the job. I know part of this is...
Yeah, just phone it in.
Yeah.
Why can't you just mail it in?
We have learned since the announcement that he, has been on his phone up to 18 hours.
I'm saying.
You're taking... There was one great quote from one of the other insiders who was like, you have to take a shower with your phone pressed against a glass to make sure that you don't miss any text or phone calls or anything. Like you've got a Bluetooth in while you're coaching your kids' soccer game. Like it's a big commitment. If you want to be at that level, you got to make that big commitment. I would just not make that big commitment, but I would still cash those big checks.
This is what I'm saying. Bad person. This is what I'm saying. I missed things and gave up on lots of things in life for like $7.50 an hour. And when I was there for $7.50 an hour, I would tell you straight up, I was not running through the tape. I was not giving it my all. Woj, just give it like 50%. Stop answering your phone. Leave the phone in your pants pocket when you're in the shower. Stop answering calls. Just phone it in. Mail it in. Get that 20.
Jasmine, how often are you on your phone during the day?
I don't know, like 10-ish hours.
10 hours? That's a lot of hours.
I don't have no kids. So I'm just like, sometimes, me and the boo be long distance, so I gotta phone that in. But when there's 20 million on the table, and please quote me on this, when there's 20 million, now is not the time to be a family man.
No.
Like, please. And where is the wife? Because I would be like, we need the coin before you even. What is he like? Woj bonds now? What's? I don't know. I'm good for him, but like the bondings.
I thought, yeah. Now, of course, these are all super fun jokes to make or whatever. But I thought it was really cool that he was just like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to go hang out with my family. Like, that's a very cool thing to do. I can't wait to do that with 6 trophies. We're supposed to show up for shooting, and I just send a text like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore, y'all. Have fun.
I want to say now that I wish the best for Woj, obviously, and his family. And I hope now that our feud, the beef that has steamed between us for all these years since the NBA All-Star Game in Charlotte, when apparently during a taping of my former show, NBA Desktop, I made a joke with Woj there, in which I said, Woj, who's watching your son Shams while you're here, which apparently he didn't like. And I hope that we all is forgiven now, and that as he moves into the private life that he so richly deserves, that we can put those things behind us. And I apologize for that joke. And that's all. I wish him the best.
I don't know. I feel like the joke was worth it, to be honest.
Woj is so powerful that Jason is still afraid of him even after he has retired.
I was told now listen, here's an issue. If you were ever to come over to ESPN, Woj is still mad about this. I've heard that through the grapevine. So I apologize to Woj.
Yo.
I really do.
He be holding grudges.
Here's the thing. Do we really believe he's going to stay away? Or does the call of the phone in his pocket, like in Spider-Man, like the Green Goblin mask, like, come on, Woj, pick me up. It's a text. It's a text from the GM of the Los Angeles Lakers. You want to break this news, Woj. Like, can he stay away?
I think so.
Okay.
I think he will. He older. He, want to do that family thing, but now it's just like left this whole emptiness. Like, what do we have now? ShamWows, Hanes briefs, windbreakers.
Windbreakers. Brian Windhorse. I like it.
Windbreakers.
I like a windbreaker. That's good.
It's nothing like it. Don't hit. It don't slap like a Woj bomb should.
Yeah.
I wonder who came up with the term Woj bomb.
Some great unnamed person on Twitter. I feel like.
I love when that happens. Remember how each time the NBA draft would roll around and Woj would just tweet out who's picking who before it would even be announced?
Classic flex. Incredible, iconic flex. We're going to miss that. That's what I mean. Are you mean to tell me he's not going to feel the juice, the charge come draft time to just be like, do it a couple times in the top 5, in the top 10? A couple.
I hope that we find out in this post-media version of Woj that he's like super jokey. Like, it would be so funny if this draft next summer he just started tweeting like he was back, like, oh, the Lakers just made a crazy trade for whatever. They just sent LeBron James to Charlotte. Something like that. Just throw it out there and then LOL afterward. Like, that would be great. Woj, I hope you're happy. We're very happy for you. Way to go.
Remember when he emailed "fuck you" to Josh Hawley?
Yes. Yes.
You love to see that.
I'm going to miss it.
Yeah.
Next trophy, the Chief Keef. That's that shit I don't like trophy, which is given out to a player team who does something and we just don't like it. We don't like it.
No, come on.
This week's winner, we don't like Mitchell Robinson missing the start of the NBA season with an ankle injury.
Wow.
No fun.
Loud booze.
No fun. Jasmine, do you have any feelings toward or against the New York Knicks, Jason's beloved New York Knicks?
I have no feelings at all. It's just like sometimes when they win a little too much, they get too excited. I'm sorry.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that, Jasmine.
Well, because you're not used to winning. But like when you go a little deeper in the playoffs than you should.
No.
Y'all just get.
I believe that's like a social construct. Knicks fans aren't going to let that be impressed upon them by the outside. What we have to be composed and dignified. So like Reggie Miller doesn't get upset. Fuck that shit. Because Reggie Miller is like, oh, you guys got to settle down, and we have to do things the right way. So that Reggie goes, oh, look at them, they're being like dignified about no, fuck that shit. Celebrate after you win 2 games in the early part of the season. Who cares? I love it. I love it.
I'm here for you, but I do feel like when Laker fans do that, it's a problem. Like we can't be happy, or some player mentions that he's not happy on his team. We can't be like, oh, come to the Lakers. Like y'all hate that. Y'all think we delusional.
But see, but that's what I mean, Jasmine. Just like embrace it. Embrace that you guys have, 16, 17 championships.
But now we got Bronny. Like we very unserious this year. So
I mean, Bronny going to play major minutes in game 1 from everything that I'm reading. Like Bronny will play significant minutes this year.
Yeah, maybe this year or this 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll never hear from him again unless it's in the G League. Stop it. But
just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride with the league. Enjoy the fact that you're hated. You're hated because you're so successful. Isn't it great to be hated because you're successful? Like the Knicks are hated just because we have the temerity to feel good. That's all it is. We've just become relevant. And now because we're like feeling good, people are annoyed. Fuck, I don't care. At least you guys, at least you guys have a resume to point to, and that's the reason that people hate you. But you guys should just embrace it. You look at all the legendary players that have played for you, all the great players that want to be there and live in LA, all the championships and accolades, and the fact that like you guys are the most like well-known and famous NBA team in the league around the world. Like, enjoy that stuff. So what that people hate you?
It's not that y'all are like winning and happy. We want y'all to be happy. It's just, why are y'all so aggressive?
No, you don't want us to be happy. That's people say that to themselves so they don't feel mean. You don't want the league and other players and other fans don't want Knicks fans to be happy. It's annoying to them. They hate it. They like, obviously, huge market, right? Huge media market drives a lot of the conversation all the time. They prefer it if the Knicks suck and Knicks fans are unhappy because they're just more comfortable that way. That's the way the league has been for the last 2 decades. And this change is scary to them. It's scary when the Knicks not only are loud, but good. And it's annoying to people, but that's okay. It's okay.
Jason, when this news came out that Mitchell Robinson was going to miss the start of the season,
yeah,
were you instantly angry at the Philadelphia 76ers again? Because they caused this, like he re-aggravated the injury during that.
Let me ask you this. Let me turn around. Is it your sincere belief that the Philadelphia 76ers and one-time league MVP Joel Embiid caused this injury?
I don't think it was intentional.
I don't think so. Well, I'll put it this way. I do think Joel Joel meant to reach over and grab Mitchell's legs like that.
He did mean to do that, yeah.
It wasn't like he thought it was something else and went to grab it like a bag of Doritos. He knew it was his legs over there. Obviously, I don't know that he meant to quote unquote hurt him. I think he wanted to hurt him in the moment. I think he's I think Joel can be a kind of petty and physical player at times, especially when things aren't going his way. I don't know if he meant to hurt him. I do believe that the two things are connected somehow, but in terms of, I couldn't be more angry than I was when it happened. So I'm not angry again. It happened. Mitchell is a injury prone player. I do think Embiid's dirty play had something to do with it, but also Mitch is a guy that's has never played more than 72 games in his career. And this is not unexpected, that he would get injured at some point. So I'm not angry. My anger has not been renewed.
Okay. Yeah, you sound totally over it. Next trophy. Next trophy. The Step Brothers Catalina Wine Mixer Trophy. Given out to the thing we're most excited about for the upcoming week. This week's winner, the playoffs continue. We just keep talking about it. Are we going to get the Caitlin Clark bounce back game? Do the Mercury win a game? Do the Liberty sweep? Who does what? What happens to the poor Atlanta Dream? I'm very excited for the playoffs to continue. Jasmine, a couple of questions before we let you get out of here. All right. Mm-hmm. We're going to go straight into it. Question number 1. You're not allowed to say anybody from the New York Liberty or from the Las Vegas Aces. Who's the most important person in the playoffs this postseason?
Wow.
Ooh. I think I have to go. Shit. I might have to go Phee. And that's tough.
Why is that tough?
It's tough because I feel like something big is brewing with Dejanay. Mm-hmm. So it's always hard for me to count her completely out, but Phee, I don't know. Phee can change this entire playoffs in my opinion.
She has the capability to win a series on her own, it feels like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she might have to.
Yeah, she might have to. All right, that's a solid pick. That's the second week in a row that Nafisa has been the answer to that question. Another question for you. Who does, in fact, win the championship this year? Who is it?
It's Aces.
You think so?
God, I think so. God. I just... as much as maybe at a time the Liberty might scare me, maybe the Sun might scare me. Same with the Lynx. I just feel like Aces have too much, and even when they're down, like we saw, they know how to get it together for the most part. And Asia, I never count her out to just be Asia.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little nervous about New York. I am.
Are
it's
you?
Fun. It's fun to joke around and be like, haha, well, there's nobody who could beat us. The New York Liberty is the only team I think in the league right now that wants to play the Aces. I think they're the only ones that are like looking at it going, we get them in the second round. Let's get them out in the second round. They don't even get to make the finals. I think that's what they're doing, and it makes me a little anxious. They look mad. They look angry. They went
into the season series against the Aces with a different kind of edge, I think, than they had
every time
last season.
Every time. All right, another question for you, Jasmine. Two more. Is this Diana Taurasi's last season in the league?
Ooh, if they lose, okay. If they lose with like Phee talking shit like this, Diana has to come back just for you cannot end on that note where this woman who never talks is just like saying we about to end your career. No, you have to come back, like put the Bengay on and do another season. I know she's doing like if this is it, like her whole Michael Jackson shit, but you cannot end your career like this. That's embarrassing.
Okay. Even though Phee said it with a kind of like smile on her face that was I'd never say stuff like this.
I don't give a shit how Phee said it. Phee, off the court, Phee is always like, look at me, I'm a mom. Look, I'm so pretty. And
I'm a mom.
I got my great husband, and look at this life on the court. She's like sunning y'all. Like that's gonna come. But now that she's like talking shit, you know how you have to like end, like you shooting hoops, you have to end on a make. Diana cannot end like this. That's just me.
Okay. No, I think that feels right. I hope that's true too. I would like another season.
Because you like mean players. Of
do.
course you like to see her.
I love a mean player. Last one. This is a final question, and then we're gonna give your time back to you. But is there a storyline in the playoffs right now, in the W playoffs right now, that you think has been underlooked or underappreciated?
I don't know. I think it's all been like somewhat covered. I wish that there was not so much attention on like a certain Indiana player, because I think the way the team has like, yes, she's been a really good catalyst, but the way the team has like turned around and made this an incredible season, I feel like is a little underappreciated. Just because
you're talking about Lexi Hull, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, Lexi Hull's ascension to the starting lineup.
I love like Indiana's resurgence, and I see it as like a team. I think people, I don't know how, but people forget like Aaliyah Boston is really fire, and all their other pieces. Great. Yeah. So I'm like, as a team, I feel like they should be talked about a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. All right, well, that's all we had for you, Jasmine. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. You were just as insightful and funny as we had hoped you would be. What a tremendous time this was for us.
I know. I loved it. Anytime you want to have me back, I would love to shit talk New York teams.
I love that it sounds like we were like, hey, you were so great and wonderful and thanks. And you're like, I know, obviously I was those things. This was perfect. All right. Thank you, Jasmine. You have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Jason, you want to do the little trophies?
Let's do them.
Let's do the little trophies. These ones change each week and are situation specific. They're for the smaller storylines that we want to mention but don't need to get all the way into. My first little trophy. The Sal from Impractical Jokers. I will never forgive you. I hate you. Trophy. To the Atlanta Dream for allegedly.
Not even allegedly.
Posting a photo of former Dream player Kennedy Carter with the cry face emoji after the Dream eliminated Kennedy's Chicago Sky from playoff contention. Just a beautiful work of trolling a former player with a complicated relationship for the former team. Just great work. Great work all around. Don't delete it, though. If you tweet it, don't delete it.
I thought this was unnecessary, but also funny.
Yeah, absolutely unnecessary,
but funny. Okay, my first little trophy is the Falcon in Avengers Endgame cap. It's Sam. Can you hear me? On your left. Trophy 2 to Leonie Fibich from Germany, who had a career-high 21 points off the Liberty bench, becoming the first WNBA rookie to go at least 4 for 4 from deep in a playoff game. And this is why this is the best Liberty team we've seen, because it's not just the top-level talent. They have depth all through the bench and players capable of doing stuff like this.
Bench players went nuts in the first games of each of these series.
They did.
It seemed like every single Tiffany Hayes, Marina Mabry, your Leonie here, they were, shout out the bench players. My next little trophy, the Bob Marley and the Wailers, oh, time will tell. Think you're in heaven, but you're living in hell trophy. If I had any sort of courage in me at all, I would have sung it like Jason always sings it whenever he does a song.
Yeah.
But I'm a big old chicken, so I didn't. That trophy goes to Vlade Divac, who, when talking about whether or not it was a mistake to not draft Luka Doncic when he had the chance, responded, time will tell if it was a mistake. It told it was a mistake. It was a super mistake.
You don't think like 6 seasons in the NBA is enough time?
I think it's enough time. Trip to the finals, some MVP runs in there.
We'll see.
Enough time.
Give him another 10 years, and then we'll really see. My second little trophy is the Michael Jackson, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Trophy 2, Jason Tatum, for getting a tattoo of himself holding the Larry O'Brien trophy, kissing the Larry O'Brien trophy. Now, some may say, "Why? Are you kidding? What kind of move is this? You get a tattoo of yourself?" Give Jason his props, because this is he did it in the most humble way that you can get a tattoo of yourself. He got it on his back.
He got it on his back.
He got it on his back, so it's not like he's seeing it. It's not like he wants to look at himself. He wanted to get it because he wants to say that he is actually an important part of his life. Obviously the tattoos are to commemorate important moments from his life, and he is a part of his life. But he didn't want to be like...
He's a big part of his life, yes.
He's a big part of his own life. But he didn't want to be like seeing himself all the time. So he got it on his back. And I have to respect it as the most humble way to get a tattoo of yourself.
He put it on his back so all you chumps standing behind him as he's on top of the mountain can look up and see him holding the trophy before you see him holding the trophy. What an incredible
You know what's
move
crazy?
by Jason Tatum. What's crazy?
Does the tattoo of Tatum kissing the trophy have a tattoo of Tatum kissing the trophy?
I hope so.
Have a tattoo of Tatum kissing the trophy, and it just goes down.
Smaller and smaller and smaller.
Just smaller and smaller.
My last little trophy. This is the Martin in life. Hey, ain't nobody try to hear that bullshit, man. Trophy. To Al Harrington, who told an incredible story on the Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson podcast about how he tried to give a fire him up speech during a playoff elimination game. And the head coach Don Nelson, was just like, man, nobody wants to hear that shit.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious.
I think it's really, really funny.
I miss
for
Don Nelson.
To go that's like an assassination move by Don Nelson.
And I love that when you listen to Al Harrington tell the story, he's laughing just as much about it as everybody. He could have been like really offended or had his feelings hurt. Maybe he did at the time, but when he tells it now, he thinks it's the funniest thing in the world.
It's really funny. Imagine your coach doing that. I mean, I'd never talk again. You'd never hear my voice. Ever again. My final little trophy is the Thugger and Travis Scott. Pick up the phone, baby. I know you're home, baby. Trophy 2 to Tibbs. Because with Mitch Robinson out, staring down the barrel of either Precious Achua, Josh Hart, Jericho Sims getting major minutes at the 5, and Julius Randle. Taj Gibson's phone going to be ringing again.
Yes.
It's going to ring again. We all know it will happen. Taj Gibson knows it will happen. I'm sure Tibbs has already done it. Like, hey, get in shape because we're coming back to you.
Taj
Gonna
has
happen again.
one of my favorite in-game dunks ever. In that when they were playing the Miami Heat,
I know
the
exactly
two-hander, feet up in the air, Shaq style, just like trying to rip the backboard trying to rip the rim off the backboard. I hope he gets that phone call again. Jason, we did it again.
We did it again.
Another perfect episode.
I love it when it's perfect.
We close every episode just by saying the names of underappreciated old basketball players with no context at all while the theme music carries us out. Zuri, will you play the theme music, please? I'm Shea Serrano. That's Jason Concepcion. Producer Zuri in the shadows making the noises. See y'all next week. I'm keeping up with the theme. Last week I did all famous Jordans for our guest Jordan Robinson. This week I'm doing all famous Jasmines for our guest Jasmine Watkins. First up, Jasmine from Aladdin, the most iconic Jasmine.
In honor of our Denzel winner, Nafisa Collier, I'm doing iconic second best players in NBA history. 1990, Charles Barkley.
Ooh, I like it. All right, give me Jasmine from Independence Day.
1992, Clyde Drexler.
How about the brilliant actor Jasmine Guy?
Oh, wow.